France, Norway and Argentina all playing their opening game of the World Cup today. Monday saw a very surprising set of results indeed, but will we return to the status quo today as Messi, Haaland and Mbappe come out to play? France are many people's favourites for the World Cup, and it is not difficult to see why. They start their campaign against Senegal at 8 p.m. UK time, and Kylian Mbappe is chasing a goal-scoring record in that one. And speaking of goal-scoring, Erling Haaland looking to score on his World Cup debut, Norway against Iraq. Can he score? What are the odds? Is it worth it? All answered in this video. And let's not forget about the GOAT and reigning champions Argentina. They face a dangerous Algeria team, with Messi set to make his 200th appearance for Argentina. 200. Incredible stuff. And the 5 a.m. game, this is a blockbuster. I think many people will be staying up for this one. Austria against Jordan. Jordan looking to get their first ever World Cup campaign off to a good start. So that is the fixture card. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now just a word on the big surprise from Monday. Spain failing to score against Cape Verde. We can see our pressure monitor here. 27 shots for the European champions, but they could not find a breakthrough. And what a start to the World Cup journey for Cape Verde. So we're going to start with France against Senegal, and this is the game I want your predictions for. Here is the winning prediction from yesterday. Very well done to you. You have won a month of OddAlerts Pro. I have been in touch already. The same applies to this video. Get your predictions in for this game or any of the games that we are covering, and you will automatically be entered. Best of luck if you are playing. So France against Senegal, you can see our probability model is favouring France. No surprise there. The last time these teams met, Senegal beat France 1-0, and that was in the 2002 World Cup. It was a huge shock at the time, and Senegal ended up reaching the quarterfinals in South Korea. If we toggle to look at goals scored, we can see France are scoring for fun at this moment in time. 2 or more goals in the majority of their last 10 games. And it's no surprise given the talent that they have. Mbappe, Dembele, Doué, Elise, Cherki, Barcola. It is outrageous. But as we see here, they do concede goals as well. They can be got at. They've conceded in 6 out of 7 recent games, and Senegal do carry very real threats in Jackson, Mane, Ndiaye, Ismaila Sarr. They've got a very, very capable team, to be honest, and I think there could be goals in this game. Now, Senegal is not a team to be taken lightly. All you have to do is look at their competitive results here. They're not conceding many goals at all. They've got a sturdy defence. Mendy in goal, of course, Champions League winner with Chelsea. We have to scroll down quite far to find their last defeat. It was against Uganda in AFCON in 2023, and they had a man sent off in that game as well. So they are a very robust and difficult to beat side, and France will have to play well to get past them today. In recent games, they are picking up cards. 5 against Morocco, 2 against Egypt, 5 against Mali, 2 against Sudan, 2 against Benin. And they picked up at least 1 card in the majority of games. It looks like just 2 games were cardless for them in the last 20 competitive appearances. And the referee for this one is Alireza Fagani, who is an Iranian-Australian referee, usually officiates in the A-League and has produced 3.72 cards per game across all of the data in the database. Now, the bookies are loving France, as you would expect for this game. 1.54 is the peak, the best price. I have a slightly different angle, but first, let's take a look at some player data. Now taking a look at some player data, we're looking at shots on target across the last 10 games and we're filtering for these squads. You can use this tool for free, link in the description. Kylian Mbappe, 18 shots in his last 10 games. He's on 56 goals for France, one away from Olivier Giroud's all-time record. Can he do it in this game? The player I really like from this list is, of course, Elise. I backed him for one of the players for the Golden Ball, the best player in the World Cup. If France go deep, he is going to be some player for them, and so dangerous, so difficult to actually stop. Sadio Mane as well, 13 in 10. He is looking to bounce back from the huge disappointment that he missed the Qatar 2022 World Cup with an injury. He is back and fit and ready to lead his Senegal team here. But just looking at this list of players, there is some very good attacking players here. Mateta for France, unlikely to start, but a good player to throw on if you need a goal. Nicholas Jackson up top for Senegal. Iliman Ndiaye for Senegal. What a player he is. I'm sure he will get a big move, especially if he performs in this competition. You just can't get the ball off him. So here's what I'm looking at for this game. Senegal to pick up more than one card in the game. How do you contain the players that France have at the top end of the pitch? Ryan Cherki, we've not really mentioned, but he is a wonderful footballer, really. There's no other way to describe him. Elise, Mbappe, Dembele, Doué. I've gone through the names before. It doesn't really matter who it is. They are all hard to contain, and they all just keep moving about as well. So I think France will definitely score in this game. That goes without saying. Elise to have a shot on target and over 2.5 goals in the game. And that is 4.20. 420, great number. So let me know what you think. I think there could be goals for both teams in this game. I do respect the attacking talent that Senegal has. They definitely have quality at the top end of the pitch. So let me know what you think the score is going to be in this game if you want to win OddAlerts Pro and have your name up in lights in the next video. Next up, it is Iraq against Norway. Just before we head to Iraq against Norway, I wanted to show the current leaderboard for our Predictions League. There are real world prizes to be won if you finish inside this top 10. And at the moment, it is Chris Thomas who has won 11 of his 64. He had the draw for Iran, New Zealand. That one has just finished as I'm recording this. He also had the draw for Saudi Arabia and Uruguay, and also had a draw for Belgium against Egypt. So that is some points haul in the last 24 hours for him. Well done, Chris Thomas. He has taken a very nice lead, but it is close between the top 3 or 4, 5 players. So let's see how this league table develops. You can track it and enter the competition with the link in the description. So our model is heavily favouring Norway, as you would expect, and Norway are back at the World Cup for the first time since 1998, and for Iraq it is a first World Cup since 1986. 2 long-awaited returns indeed, and the odds are heavily stacked in Norway's favour. Let's take a look at the data and see why. So for Norway, 8 wins from 8 in qualifying and 37 goals scored, just 5 conceded. They've also beat Italy twice, although that turned out to not be as impressive as first thought. Sorry, Italian people. Iraq were the final team to qualify for the World Cup. They beat Bolivia in a qualification playoff, which, fair enough. Well done, Bolivia, not a bad team at all. We'll take a look at shots on target 4, because across the last 10, Norway has averaged 10 shots on target per game. They have also seen more second half goals, 29, in the last 10 games than any other nation at the World Cup. Now, the obvious choice for shots on target and goals is Erling Haaland, but I do like this little player here, Antonio Nusa. He is a young winger, plays for RB Leipzig, and he has 7 shots on target in his last 10 appearances. Expected to start from the left side and offer rotations around Haaland with Sorloth. And we can use the new feature, click on the stats icon here, and sort by percentiles to see where he ranks the best across all midfielders in the World Cup. So for accurate passes, he's right up there. Fouls drawn, 89th percentile. So can he win a couple of fouls for Norway in this game? Dribble attempts, shot on target, successful dribbles, ranking quite highly indeed. Looking at tackles now, we've got a couple of players that have made a tackle in 100% of games across the last 10 games. Sander Berge expected to play and hold for Norway whilst the more creative players go forward and do their job. And Amir Al-Amari is also a midfielder for Iraq who plays his football in Poland. So both of them have made a tackle, at least one tackle, in their last 10 games. I think out of these two, you would probably lean towards the Iraq midfielders making tackles because they're not going to have much of the ball in this game. So here is my prediction for Norway against Iraq. Norway to have over 5.5 shots on target and most goals to be scored in the second half. I did also have on here Nusa to win 2+ fouls, Sorloth to commit a foul, which obviously bumps the odds up considerably, but I'm waiting for lineups, so feel free to experiment with those couple of players once the lineups are confirmed. Let me know what you like about this. What would you change? Is Haaland going to score? Get your predictions in the comments for your chance to win OddAlerts Pro and your name up in lights in the next episode. Next up, Argentina, reigning champions. Messi takes to the stage in what will be his 200th appearance for Argentina. He's also the first ever player to feature at 6 World Cups. That is amazing stuff from the greatest player of all time. Don't even try and debate me in the comments. 7 wins on the bounce for Argentina. They conceded just once in qualifying as well. They have such a dependable bunch of players, don't they? Especially at the back and in midfield, that sort of just allow those match winners to do what they do best at the top end of the pitch. Can they make history and become the 3rd ever team to retain a World Cup? We'll take a look at Algeria's recent results. They've beaten Bolivia, they've beaten the Netherlands in warm-up games. They shouldn't be disrespected. And don't forget, do not forget, Argentina lost the first game of the Qatar 22 World Cup, which of course they went on to win. They were beaten by Saudi Arabia. And a stat about Argentina here, they have scored in every opening game that they've played of the World Cup since 1990, when they famously lost to Cameroon. Since then, they've won all 6 games against African opposition. Now we're going to jump back to the player tool because there's this little guide that I've found called Lionel Messi, and across the last 10 games, ranking against all other World Cup players, he is in the 100th percentile, basically top of the pile for a lot of things. Chances created, 34. Big chances created, 12. Total shots, 61. Shots on target, 25. More than any other player at the World Cup. Shots off target, 19. Key passes, 36. I could go on and on. Assists, 7. He's still got it, and I think Argentina will do all they can to just allow him to get the space he needs to affect games and make an impact. He is still having a lot of fun in the MLS, as you can see. 8 goals in his last 10 games. He's hit the post 3 times. He is the greatest player of all time, and can he have an impact in this game? Just taking a look at the rankings briefly here, we've got Messi top, as just mentioned. Nico Paz is one to watch out for. Unfortunately, I think he will be on the bench. He is a great midfielder. He's just coming off the back of a superb season with Como, qualify for the Champions League. I think he's going to join Real Madrid. That was the big talk a few months back. They have a release clause for him where they can get him back for about €9 million. Not sure if that's gone through as of yet, but regardless, he's a player that will be pushing to start in this team as the tournament goes on. That is my feeling. He's going to come into games and impact them off the bench. But Argentina, the coach there, he has a set of 11 players that maybe they're not the best in form, or maybe they're not the youngest, sharpest, but he trusts them, so they play. And that is also potentially the case with Julian Alvarez. He's coming back from an injury, so he could be on the bench for this one. So I'm going to avoid having him on until I see the lineups later, of course. Enzo Fernandez, always good for a foul and a tackle in the middle of the pitch. So with all that said, here we go then. Argentina against Algeria. This one was difficult to put together. I'm not going to lie. The odds are really, really poor for a lot of things that I was looking at. But you can see the player at the bottom there, Lionel Messi, to have one shot on target. It's always a good option, I think, given that he is going to be on free kicks from any reachable distance. And when he gets a free kick, it is near enough a shot on target. He is that good. Argentina to score in the second half. We've seen that, a bit of a trend in this World Cup so far. Both teams to receive a card in this one, and Algeria to have more than one shot on target in the game. What do you think about that? What would you change about that? Messi to score or assist was also on my mind. Messi to just assist sits at 3.5, the creative king that he is. What's the score going to be in this one? And of course, the France-Senegal game. Get your predictions in the comments if you want to win OddAlerts Pro in the next video. And we end with Austria against Jordan, a World Cup debut for Jordan. We can see here, looking at the last 25 games, that they do not score many goals, just 1.3. Austria, incidentally, back at the World Cup for the first time in 28 years. And they topped a pretty difficult qualifying group. And they've also been doing pretty well in their World Cup preparation as well. They've beaten Ghana and Korea, both in March. And then they've beaten Tunisia. But as we've seen, Tunisia, they fell apart, didn't they, against Sweden. And they've actually sacked their manager in tournament, the first casualty. You don't usually see that. And here's Jordan's form. Of course, a couple of things stand out to me. They've not won in 5 games, that is obvious, but they are scoring goals against decent opposition. They lost to Colombia in the pre-tournament game that they played. They also scored against Switzerland. They're conceding 2 or more goals in all of those games, but they're scoring as well in 4 of the 5. Against Morocco, it was a thrilling defeat. 2-2 against Nigeria and 2-2 against Costa Rica as well. So back to the Player Hub, link in the description if you want to check out all of these tools. There are many, many more tools on OddAlerts as well, which are not just specific to the World Cup. We have trends, value bets, player prop tools, pinnacle dropping odds, plenty to check out, but we are all about the World Cup at this moment in time, of course. I'm showing you fouls here because of the way that Austria play. Their system is based on a high press. They look to get the ball back as soon as possible, which does lead to a lot of fouls at the top end of the pitch. Not necessarily cynical fouls or dangerous fouls or yellow card fouls, but just little fouls where the player has got past the pressing forward or whatever, or the winger. And that actually leads me to this man here, Marko Arnautovic. He is still banging in the goals, by the way. 8 goals in qualifying for Austria. 1.97 fouls per game across his last 10 appearances makes him a decent selection for me. Let's check out what I've put together. So as you can see, I've kept it really, really simple, by the way. And I'm just noticing in the sidebar, how many lists has Messi been the top of in the sidebar, as we see Norway's goal difference there. Anyway, this is what I'm on. It's very, very simple. Arnautovic to commit 2 or more fouls as that pressing forward. It is his job to lead that press at times, and for Jordan to get the most cards. I think Austria to win is, of course, very, very short odds. Not worth it, in my opinion. And you can keep adding to this for them to score in the second half over 1.5 goals, for them to win, just to build up the odds. But we have seen some surprising results so far, and some disappointments so far in terms of teams not really showing up, not really getting started yet. Germany, the only team really that has put in a performance that makes you think they are here and they mean business. But of course, the team that they played, the quality difference is quite profound, isn't it? Belgium, disappointing so far. Brazil, not really showing what they can as of yet. And let's see if today France, Argentina and Austria can put in a decent performance. Tomorrow's video is going to be a special one. We have Portugal against Congo, and then the small matter of England against Croatia. I will be here and I will be wearing a slightly different shirt, let's just say. Ghana against Panama is the other game from England's group, and then we have as well Uzbekistan against Colombia. That is going to make up tomorrow's video. If you are liking this content, please do hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to add your predictions in the comments if you want to win OddAlerts Pro. I hope you're enjoying these videos, and I will see you in the next one.